Can you imagine what it would be like if you were dumped by the man you loved and trusted right after you became pregnant? Well, today we have some women who are going to confront the men that they say did just that. I want you to meet Jessica. Jessica says that her fiance, Carl, kicked her out of his house when she was almost 4 months pregnant with his baby. Since then, Jessica has given birth to a beautiful baby boy named Evan, who is now 6 weeks old. Carl is with us, and he's waiting, and he'll be out in just a minute. But first, Jessica, what's the story? What happened with you and Carl?
We were acquaintances in high school. We knew each other before. And the year I graduated from high school, I went to work for his mother. That's how we really started dating. It was a fairy tale romance to me. I had a pretty rough childhood, I guess, and he promised me a future and a family. And in June, we became engaged. Mm-hmm. We were together for 2 years before this.
You were together 2 years?
Right.
Before you became engaged?
Right. We were engaged in June, and at the end of July, almost exactly 1 month later, found out that I was pregnant. And 3 months later, he decided he didn't want to be with me anymore. He said his feelings changed.
Do you think it was the pregnancy that had something to do with that?
I think he got really scared.
About being a father or being married? The whole thing?
Right. About being a father mostly, I guess. I don't know.
Now,
he really doesn't have a reason for what he did.
You were living together?
I was living with some friends of my family. I had a room at their house, and I was staying at Carl's house quite a bit. I mean, I was, sleeping there, spending the night there a lot. And so when I got pregnant, I couldn't live at this family's home with the baby, raising the child. So I guess by the grace of God, my grandmother let me move back in with her.
But how did he kick you? Said he kicked you out.
He had gone to Connecticut to visit some family. His grandfather was sick. And at this point, I was having a pretty stressful pregnancy. I had started spotting, and the doctors put me on bed rest while he was in Connecticut. And he, over the phone, we had an argument. Told me by the time he got home to have all of my things gone.
But you were at his house?
On bed rest.
You weren't living with your grandmother? I was a little confused.
No, not at this point, no.
So he did ask you to leave?
He asked me to leave. The next day, the day before he was supposed to come home, he did call me and ask me to stay. Said that he wanted to work things out and talk to me, when he got home. But I was so hurt, really, and disappointed that he had treated me this way when I'm carrying his child. And I thought I was getting ready to lose the baby. I was having a really hard time. So I went ahead and talked to my grandmother and moved in with her. I didn't think that I should stay with him after he said that to me when I was having such a hard time with the pregnancy.
So have you seen him since that phone call?
Oh, yeah.
You have? Yeah. What's going on?
We stayed together for a little while after I moved in with my grandmother. We stayed together for a couple of weeks. And he finally cut it off after that. I had a new girlfriend immediately afterwards.
Are you still in love with him?
Yeah.
Where are you living now?
With my grandparents.
What would you like to have happen?
I want him to take responsibility for his child the whole time I was pregnant.
Meaning what? You want him to live with you and the child? No.
No.
Because he has another girlfriend.
He has another girlfriend.
You want him to pay child support?
I want him to pay attention to his child. We were in this relationship together. We caused the pregnancy together.
Right.
We were engaged. We had a commitment to each other. I need for him to be there for me when I'm having a hard, like now, like when he's sick. And he's screaming at 3 o'clock in the morning. We're both parents, and we both should act like parents.
Do you think the fact that you're in love with him and he's not in love with you may be a problem?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a problem for me.
Okay.
I mean, I look at this child that we created together every day. I'm raising him by myself. And every time I look at him, I think about, he looks just like him. Where do you see him? He looks just like him.
I think it's time we hear Carl's side of the story. Carl, come on out. Some of these details are a little confusing, and you heard what Jessica has said. Did you kick her out of the house, your house, when she was 4 months pregnant?
She didn't tell the whole story.
Okay.
I went to Connecticut. My grandfather was very sick. My grandfather was the most important person in my life. I didn't love anybody more. He passed away during that time. I called. This was the first time I really ever called on Jessica to help me.
For emotional support.
For emotional support. She couldn't. She couldn't help me. Her exact words to me were, "I don't care if your grandfather died." At that point, I said, "Okay, you just be out of the house when I get back."
In other words, you knew that the relationship was over.
Yeah, I mean, I knew
moment.
if I didn't have someone I could stand on, then, you know, it was over for me. You know, I needed that support.
I can understand what happened here. Your grandfather is dying, and he's the closest person to you. You are pregnant in bed and spotting, so you needed the emotional support.
It was a lack of communication. I spoke out of hurt and out of frustration.
Because she wanted you
I
with
was
her.
afraid. You know, I was getting ready
Sure.
to lose my child that we created together, that you wanted. He came home from work every night and put his head on my belly and would talk to this baby.
And I love this baby.
And
Carl,
when I almost
do you
lost
love
this
the
baby?
baby?
You
Yes,
didn't
I love
care?
this baby. I have been very vocal. There's some things I wish I could have changed during the pregnancy when we weren't together, but I couldn't trust her. She's a very vindictive person.
In what way?
She did property damage to my car after we broke up. I mean, she was convicted of it in court. I mean, I couldn't trust her. I couldn't be around her. It's not that I didn't want to be there. I couldn't trust. I couldn't be around her.
Now, she says that you paid a lot of attention to the baby when the baby was born, but that you haven't seen the baby in a week.
I haven't seen the baby since, I think, last Friday, but I've been sick since Sunday, and I called her Sunday night and told her I was supposed to see him Sunday, so I didn't think it would be a good idea. And since then, I'm still getting over it. And I'd made an attempt to see it Tuesday night, and she wasn't at work. So, I mean, I haven't seen him in a week, and
See,
Can I ask a question here?
surely.
If we were still together, if you were helping me to raise this child and you were in the home with this baby, could you use being sick as an excuse not to see your son? Would you go stay in a hotel? Or would you just what if I get sick? If I get sick, I still have to see my baby.
if you
You
want,
can't
I
walk away
offered to
from
see him. I told you I didn't think it would be best. You said fine. I mean, I don't.
I'm not going to
I
beg
have
you
done-
to come see your son.
And
I
I have
shouldn't
seen
have
him.
to beg
And
you.
I've seen him. I've seen him a lot. I've seen him a lot. I have paid child support. I have.
You haven't paid any child support. You gave me $100, Carl, the whole pregnancy, the whole time I was pregnant and out of work because I was sick. I supported it all by myself.
No, I gave you more than that. I gave you more than that. No, the check didn't bounce.
Carl, you said that Jessica uses the baby to get to you. What do you mean?
It's like a package deal with Jessica. I have to have her and the baby.
That is not true.
That is true. She does call me at 2 o'clock in the morning when the baby's screaming, and I don't know what
One
she wants
time.
me to do.
Right.
After she had the baby, it was a Friday. I think the baby was only a week old. She went to a party. A party. She called me 11:30 on a Friday night. I was in bed because I had to be at work the next morning. On Friday night, she called me to come pick her up. I did. I got out of bed. I went and picked her up. The only excuse was she wanted to ruin my Friday night. And I was in the bed.
That's not true.
That is what she told me. There was 10 other people there that could have took her home. But, you know, I went.
I think you probably have a problem. You know she's in love with you.
Yeah, I do know that.
Are
She
you
makes it
in love
very-
with her?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Do you have another girlfriend?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Then the problem is you love your baby.
Very much.
But you don't love the baby's mother.
Very much.
So you want to see the baby and be part of the baby's life,
Yes.
but not part of her life.
Yes.
Is that the problem?
Yeah, I mean, I know, I'm mature enough to know me and Jessica have to maintain a civilized relationship.
Yes.
Because the one who's going to suffer the most will be Evan. It won't be me or her.
You don't do that. You treat me like I have a disease. You look at me, you talk to me, you disrespect me.
Because the things you
I
do
don't
to me,
deserve
Jessica.
that.
the
I don't
things-
deserve that. I'm raising your
You
son
call
by
me-
myself.
Why do you think that he's pulled back from you? What do you think is happening in his life right now? Carl?
I think he's scared. I think he doesn't want to take responsibility.
I've taken responsibility.
You think the new girlfriend takes a lot of time?
She won't even let us be in the same room together to talk.
That's a lie, Jessica. She has. You
What?
make her leave the room. Jessica barges into my house anytime.
I'm invited to your house so that you can see your son.
I'll remind you of last weekend, 1 o'clock in the morning. You were not invited.
Friday.
She called my house at 12 o'clock Friday night. I was in bed. I had to be at work at 6 o'clock the next morning. I told Mom I would call her in the morning when I got up. She told Mom, if he doesn't come to the phone, I'm coming over there. My mom said, everybody's in bed. Do not come over here. So she came at 1 o'clock in the morning. She comes knocking on my door. It's the whole family up. My dad ended up having to call the police before she would leave.
That's not true. That is not true.
Because the baby had gas.
Friday afternoon. That's not funny, okay? This is not funny. This is my son. This is our child.
Carl, I think Jessica says she finds it hard to believe you would change your feelings for her, even though she did say something very unkind about your grandfather.
It was a gut feeling. I mean, if the first time she wasn't there for me, I didn't want to get in a situation where she wasn't going to be there again. And I mean, I didn't string her along.
What about me? What about me? When I was almost miscarried our child, and you didn't call me and say, how are you? Are you okay? What's going on? Has it stopped yet?
I called you several times, but
You
then
never once asked me that.
my number got blocked from your phone. I mean, I was actually running around town to try to call her. I would call her from a cellular.
That was after I moved in with my grandmother.
Carl,
That's
is
not
there
while I was in the middle of a
something you would
miscarriage.
like to say to Jessica?
It's that I love my son very, very much. I want to be a part of his life forever, and I've taken the responsibility. I signed child support papers. I mean, they're already taken it out of my check. I would just like to work out something with Jessica. I mean, I've been very liberal, and I don't care what the visitation is. I just want to get something because she threatens if I don't do something exactly how she wants it. She threatens not to let me see him, to move out of this state.
He's threatened to take
You
my child
have
from
a
me.
new girlfriend now. What are the chances, the really bad chances, that she would get pregnant and that the same thing would happen twice? Because just as she's responsible, you don't want to drop children all over the world and have to support them and take care of them and have at least 5 girls like this.
Can I ask
so
you a
the same
question?
thing should have happened to you.
And get an honest answer. Rumor around town is they're pregnant, and I would like for you to tell me right now if she is or if she
She's
isn't.
not. She's not. I don't know.
She's not pregnant?
No, she's
okay.
not.
This woman is 4 months pregnant, and she says her world was destroyed when her fiancé coldly dumped her over the phone when she was 2 months pregnant. Now, they haven't spoken since. She wants answers. And later, we're going to meet this man who has never met his 8-month-old baby boy. He will today. Stay with us. We're talking to women who have contacted us, saying that they were devastated when the men in their lives deserted them after they became pregnant. Each case, we're going to meet the man to find out the whole story. I want you to meet Rachel. She's 4 months pregnant. She says she left her family and moved halfway across the country to be with her fiancé, Joe, when she learned that she was pregnant. Rachel says she thought that Joe loved her and that they would get married and raise the child together. How old are you? You look about 13. How old are you?
18.
18, okay. But Rachel says 2 months ago, Joe instantly destroyed her life when he dumped her over the phone without an explanation. Today that may change because the two of them are going to face each other for the first time in the 2 months since the dumping. Joe is waiting backstage. He'll be out in a minute. Rachel, you're 4 months pregnant with Joe's baby?
Yes.
Was the relationship always rocky?
Not always. We met at a lake that I stay at every summer. I'm a permanent camper, I guess you could call it. And he was a weekender. And we met one weekend and we got along great. We were up till really, really early in the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning, just talking, getting to know each other. And from there on, I saw him during the week. I went to his softball games and everything that is near my house. He came out to the lake every weekend to see me. And a few months into the relationship, we were discussing the future. I think he pushed a little more than I did.
He wanted, what kind of future did he want?
He talked about marriage, and we really didn't talk about kids or anything right then. That didn't come until maybe 2 months after that. And so into the relationship, it was about 8 months or so, I got pregnant.
How did he react to the news that you were pregnant? He's 19, you're 18, a little young to think about this, but how did he react?
Well, actually, I stewed on it for like a week. I was real worried. I thought I was, but I wasn't sure. And he picked me up, and we were driving around just talking about it. I told him I was really scared. I was just really scared to find out. He made me go to the doctors. He took me to the doctors, and he waited outside while I got the test, and I just saw it just turn positive, and I just started crying. I was scared, and he heard me cry. He came in, and he didn't even say anything. He just hugged me. He just grabbed me and hugged me. And he just said, everything's gonna be all right. Don't worry. Everything will be okay.
So the two of you are still together. He says, don't worry, I'll take care of you. What happened then?
He moved here. He moved to Ohio, where I live, from Georgia. He told me he had a good job waiting there for him. His family was there. So he talked me into moving there with him. So I moved there with him.
How did your parents feel about you moving to be with him in Georgia?
My father wouldn't speak to me. He didn't say a word to me up to the day I left. Right. We never spoke.
But your mother understood and said it was all right.
She didn't like approve, but she was understanding, and 'cause my mom was in the same situation. She was younger than me though, but she understood. And we moved to Georgia a few days after Valentine's Day, and I was there for about 2 weeks. I was really homesick. I'd never been away from home or anything before.
Sure, you're 18 and you're away from home and all of that.
Right. And I talked about it with him. He was a little concerned, but he really, it seemed to me like he didn't care that much. And my brother had called me that 2 weeks later, right at the same day I got done telling him I was homesick. And he told me, if there's anything you need, if you want to come visit me, just to talk to some family, he said, I'll come get you, just tell me. So I really was considering it. And I hung up the phone with him. I talked to Joe about it. He did not want me to go at first.
Did you go?
Yeah, I did go.
And what happened while you were away?
I got to talking to my brother. He helped me a lot just to get through this. And I just needed to know for myself that it was the right thing I did, and I really should be with Joe. And it came out that way. I did want to be with him, and I was going to go back, and I was going to try my hardest to make it work and just try to get over being homesick. So I think I called him. I don't think he called. I called him, and I told him, I said, I'll fly back tonight if you want me to.
What did he say?
He said, I don't think that'll be a good idea.
All right. As you know, Joe is waiting backstage, and the two of you haven't seen each other in several months. Are you ready to see? You haven't seen him since he said, don't move back.
No.
Okay, come on out, Joe. Joe, since you haven't seen each other in several months, and the last time you saw each other was, she claims, you dumped her over the phone. Is that true?
That's not totally true, no.
No? What happened?
What happened was, when she left, all right, the night before she left, I asked her if she loved me because I could tell something was really wrong with her, and I didn't think it was just, homesick. So I asked her, do you love me or not? And she said she didn't know whether she loved me or not. And I said, well, what do you want to do? She said, well, I can go stay with my brother for a while and work things out. I said, okay, that's fine, let's call him, And I regretted, telling her that was good, and I didn't want her to go. I tried talking her out of it, I tried talking her out of it for a couple hours.
Why did you then say, don't come back?
What happened was, all right, I got a job offer.
He got another girlfriend.
I got a job offer in South Carolina, okay? And it was for a decent-sized money, and I discussed it with her, and, she was reluctant, but she agreed, and I talked to some of her family about it and everything. Everybody was, that's a good idea. So then she knew I was going to go to South Carolina. She called me back and said, well, I can be there, you know, in a few days. I said, I told you I was going to go to South Carolina and everything. And she just, you know, went off the handle about that. She didn't want me to go and all that. So then I told her, you know, well, why don't you call me when you grow up a little bit? So she never called me back, never called me back.
Uh-huh. Now, Joe, you told our producers you weren't sure the baby is yours.
No.
Tell us about
Oh
that.
my gosh.
All right, well,
Oh my goodness.
well, her brother, all right, called me up the night after I told her that on the phone. He called me up and he asked me, you know, what did you say to my sister and everything? And I told him flat out what I said to her.
That you were moving to another state and you didn't think
I wasn't
she should...
moving there. I was only going to be there temporary.
Oh, okay.
For like a month. Okay. He told me, since I was being so honest with him, that he ought to be honest with me and tell me that, you know, I wasn't the only one that was being
Now,
thought
how
of
would
as
my
the father.
brother know any of that? I live in Ohio. My brother lives in Louisiana. How does he know what I do? He doesn't know.
So
Come
the brother
on.
told you the child was not yours?
No, he didn't say that it wasn't mine. He said that I was a pick of one of 3 people.
Oh, please. You're
I'm
being a
not lying.
child.
I'm
Rachel,
not being a child.
Joe is interested in finding
He
out.
knows that's not
he
true.
told our producers he would be willing to take a paternity test
Yeah.
after
Oh,
the
sure.
baby is born.
I don't care.
All right, would you be willing to go along with that?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Are you absolutely sure it's his baby?
Positive.
Okay, is there anything you'd like to say to Joe?
He don't even got no reasons why. I mean, I really want to know why.
Why
he
what?
really hasn't. I mean, when I went to visit my brother, he was with someone else.
All right.
He's been with someone else. The day I met, he was with somebody else.
No, that's not true.
You're telling me this girl called me.
How long do you think you were away? You were gone.
I was gone 2 weeks. I was gone 2 weeks.
2 weeks, a long time when you're 18.
Ladies, you need to look at it like this. Any man can be a daddy. It takes a real man to be a father.
Joe, she's 4.5 months pregnant?
Yeah.
What are you guys going to do? What's the plan?
Well, I don't know what she's going to do, okay? But I know I'm going to have, you know, the baby tested and everything. And if the baby is mine, I will do anything I can to take care of the baby. Anything.
You're not doing
I will
nothing
do
now.
anything.
What are you going to
Yeah,
do?
anything.
Rachel, what are you going to do?
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Coming up next, this man told his fiancée, and I quote, "Raise the bastard child on your own." End quote. She hasn't seen him in over a year. She's here today to confront him and introduce him to a son he has never met. You don't want to miss this. Joe, didn't anyone tell you if you have unprotected sex, you can get pregnant?
I knew that.
You know it, okay. What you know and what you don't want to know can be 2 different things. Today we're talking with women who are angry and upset, and they say it's because the men dumped them when they became pregnant. What were you thinking?
Well, I just wondered whether any of the girls became pregnant just to hold on to the boys.
No, sir.
I'd like you to meet Carrie. Now, Carrie hasn't seen her ex-fiancé in over a year because she said when she was 6 months pregnant, he told her, and we've said it before, raise the bastard child on your own. Carrie, that must have been awful to hear. What happened?
Well, I met Scott. I was dating a guy from the base that he was on, and we had been dating for quite a while, but he got into partying real heavy, and I talked to Scott instead. We became really good friends, and he wanted to meet me in person, so he sent me money to come meet him. And I mean, he was the ideal man. He had the physical strength and the heart of a woman. You know, he was everything. He called me his angel, and he said that the first time he met me, he didn't see anything but the wings on my back.
Aww.
The perfect man. I mean, so I went down there and I spent the time of my life on my 21st birthday and came back the 23rd of December for Christmas Eve, and he calls and he had followed me back to spend Christmas with me. He woke me up Christmas morning and he said, "Carrie Joe, Christmas is a celebration of the miracle of birth. And he goes, if there's a miracle to happen, today's the day. I want a son. And so we...
He knew you for a week, and he said, today is the birth of our Savior, so you're going to give birth too. Right.
But I thought it was like the most romantic thing. I was like, oh. And so he really wanted a boy because in the heat of passion, he screamed out, boy. He really wanted a son.
You were making love, and he's screaming, boy?
Yeah.
Boy?
Just once, just once. Just
Boy.
once.
Works as well as anything, I would guess. So then what happens?
So I was like, Scott, don't get your hopes up and everything. And he called me. He sent me some money to go to the doctor. And I was like, well, I got to work. And he said, you take off. You quit your job. You're going to have my baby. You quit your job. I was like, I'm not quitting my job. So I went ahead and I went to the doctor. And, well, actually, I went to Planned Parenthood. And they said, you're pregnant. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm not pregnant. And they said, you are. So I went for a second opinion on my pregnancy. And I was pregnant. And I called him. And he was so happy. He threw this big, took everybody in his battalion or whatever, whoever was under him out, and just partied hard. And, I mean, we made plans. We talked about names immediately. And then his leave came up.
Did anybody talk about marriage?
Oh, he proposed to me. He was getting ready to go on leave. He was going to be stationed in Okinawa, Japan for a year. And I think that's why it was so important for him to have a son, in case anything happened over there. But
are we at war with Japan?
No, but you know, he might stumble coming home from a party. I mean, I've heard about there. I didn't know how it was when, you know, this happened, but now I know how that is over there. But he got my entire family together. He put my engagement ring on my credit card. My credit card after he made me quit my job because I was pregnant. Okay, but he got my entire family over there, and he said, Carrie, I can't live without you. Asked my father's permission, got on his hands and knees, put that ring on my finger and said,
then
will
what
you be
happened?
mine?
What went wrong? He wants the child. He told everybody. He asked your father's permission. He gave you a ring. You were engaged to be married. What happened?
When we went to Florida for that month, he took me to Florida on a vacation for his 30-day leave, and he was a totally different person. He just...
What about that?
He was so mean.
What about that calling you on the phone and saying, take care of the baby yourself?
Well, he just, you know, I asked him why he treated me that way. He said, because I'm scared of losing you, and I don't want to get too attached too soon. I said, you proposed marriage to me. I'm having your child. How more attached can we be?
What did he say?
He's like, well, I just love you. Well, then I would call him in Japan. He said, you know, he was going to send me money to help me out through my pregnancy because I couldn't work. I was a mess.
Did he send you money?
Well, when he would send me money, my bills were so behind that it didn't even get me out of debt. He owes my parents $2,000.
So you've never seen him, he said, take care of the bastard baby on your own, and you haven't seen him in how long?
It's been over a year.
As you know, Scott is waiting backstage, and you haven't seen him in over a year. Are you ready to see him? No? If you say no, I won't bring him out.
Bring him out.
Yeah.
Come on out, Scott. Scott, I have to ask you, it was pretty shocking. She really caught our attention. Carrie said your final words were, well, you can take care of the bastard by yourself.
Oh, but he tried to make up for it, and I got the letter here that he wrote me about a month after he said that. Could I read it to you? It's a beautiful letter.
Okay.
I do love you. It says, I do love you.
That's pretty nice.
This is on both sides, though. You know, it took a while to write it.
Scott, did you really say it in the first place?
I don't remember saying it. I do not remember saying it. Okay, and if I did say it, I'm not the type of person that would say that. I'm just not. I was shocked whenever she because I didn't remember it. She told me the next day on the phone that I said that, and I apologized because I didn't remember saying it. It was.
No.
Then, were you partying at the time?
Yeah.
Were you drunk?
Yeah, probably.
You got to be careful what you do when you're drunk. What is happening? You have not seen this woman in a year. Why? Do you love her?
Yes. See, y'all can say...
No.
Can say,
I asked the question. Are you in love with her?
yes, I am.
Why have you not seen your child?
I was in Okinawa whenever she had the child.
But you were home for 30 days on leave.
Right, and
Partying.
No,
Why, when you came home, why didn't you go to see your child?
I called right before I left Okinawa to see if she wanted to come down to Florida. I was going to send her some money to fly down there. We got in an argument the next night. She said she didn't want to go. 2 days before I'm supposed to come back to Camp Lejeune, she calls me up and says, "Why didn't you come see me?" Well, what the hell am I supposed to say?
I would have come home to the States to see my baby and gone where the baby
Well,
was.
I can't.
I would have came home to see the baby be born.
What?
I would have been there to see my child to be born. But I called him right after I delivered that child. The baby almost died. And he didn't even call me back at the hospital to see if I was okay.
I was
if
on
I needed
ship.
anything.
I was on ship for 6 months.
You were not then. How did we get a hold of you then?
They have phones on ship.
That's my job.
Yes. You are in love with her. Scott?
I do call. I called all the time over there.
Are you in love with her?
I called.
I'm asking
and my
again.
son
Are
was
you in
asleep
love
at
with
the
her?
time.
Yes, I am in love with her.
What do you want to do? You have a son who's how old?
8 months.
8 months. Do you want to marry her, and do you want to be a father to the child, or do you just want to be a father and not marry her? What do you want to do?
I want to be a father to my child because I have 7 stepdads. Okay, I don't want to raise. I don't want to hold up. I don't want to raise my son like I was raised. Okay, I was raised by my mother. You know, there's nothing wrong. God bless my mom. I love her to death, but I want to be there for my son. My father wasn't. I want to be.
How long has it been since you've seen each other?
Over a year. It was February
Why, if you're in
12th
love with her, why
of
haven't you made an effort to see her?
I've made efforts. I asked her to come see. I just.
Yes.
I just want to ask these ladies, why don't you protect yourself in the first place from getting pregnant? Why do you depend? You have gotten pregnant, and now you're upset because these men haven't taken
mistakes.
But the thing is, why don't you? This isn't the dark age. This is 1995,
No, it's not,
and you
and
have
it
to
is
take care of
1995.
yourself first.
Yeah,
you have
that's
to
right.
protect yourself as a woman
That's right.
from getting pregnant. You can't depend on a man to take care of you, to keep you from getting pregnant. Keep yourself from getting pregnant. And you have a commitment, you get engaged, you get married, and then you have a baby.
Carrie, what do you want to say to Scott?
What do I want to say to Scott? I've tried for over a year now to make you understand how I feel. Try to make our relationship work. But I guess I have to paint you a picture, so this is what you did to me. You took my hope, you ripped it up and threw it away. You took my dreams, the dreams that you promised to make come true, ripped it up, threw it away. You took my love, my trust, my self-esteem, and my freedom.
Yes.
Scott, you say you want to be there for your child because of the situation that you've been in the past and how you grew up. Well, the first step for being there for your child and being a father is to see your baby face to face.
I want to, but
A year later.
All right, it's been a year. We don't understand where you've been for a year, but coming up, you're going to see your child. Will it change her mind and your mind?
I want
Let's
to say
see.
something.
This gentleman says you missed opportunities to see your child. I'd have fought to see that child no matter what it took. But she says, Carrie says you threw away the opportunity. Do you, and you've never met the child. Would you like to see the child now?
Yes, I
Is it
would.
all right if he sees the child now?
Yeah.
Okay. How does that feel to, Scott, how does that feel to hold the child for the first time?
you don't understand how long I've been waiting to do. See, so I'm gonna ignore y'all. I'm gonna ignore y'all.
Okay.
Because y'all don't know. It is so hard for me to. I don't care.
Scott, a bit of advice. Don't allow an argument over the phone to mean anything. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to tell Jessica my heart goes out for you because I've been in some kind of experience like that. But the best thing is take care of that kid because you are going to have all the fun with him, not him. He's the one who's losing out, not you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
What you women are lacking is self-esteem.
Yes.
And you really need to get over the fact that it didn't work out. Put all your love and energies into your children because they're going to need it.
Did you know why we're lacking self-esteem is because these men took it away from us?
I cannot believe.
Can you stand for me?
I cannot believe it's Rachel, Jessica, and Carrie, how incredibly gullible and naive all three of you are. No one takes away your self-esteem. You give that away, and that comes from within. So they didn't take anything from you all. Jessica, you seem like you're very upset just because he left you and he's moved on with his life. Take care of your child. Get on with your own life.
I do take care of my child.
And in the middle, Carrie, Rachel, an 8-month relationship. You meet somebody for 8 months. You can't have a baby by them. Too fast, too quick. You bargain for what you got. You're going to have to deal with it right now. As for you, you seem to be a good mother, good head on your shoulders. Just go on and continue raising your child. If he wants to be a part of your child's life, well, then he'll be.
Yeah.
Just remember, though, of all the men on stage, the only one who said he was in love with the mother of the child was Scott. Let's talk about that. We'll be right back. Yes, sir.
For the young lady and the gentleman here, you weren't there for him when he needed you to be there.
That's right.
And, you know, be happy, man. Do whatever you want to do, because she had a chance, so take care of your child.
I wonder if he's right. Please welcome Los Angeles-based relationship therapist Suzanne Lopez, who's now the Red Eye Special is her way of going. Suzanne, what is going on here?
Well, Sally, there are no fairy tale relationships. There's no perfect man and no perfect woman. And everybody here is talking about, oh, it was a fairy tale and he was perfect and everything was wonderful. Real life occurs and we're human beings. And with this first couple, the young man has an unrealistic expectation that every time when you're with somebody, they're supposed to be there for you and vice versa. And she's going to set herself up for a lifetime of disappointments, expecting him to be a certain way. And I would really say that you know, he's trying to show up the best he can. I think that he made his decision based on faulty information and immature kind of expectations about love, that person that you love is supposed to be there and do all things for you at all times. That's unrealistic. And as you're older, you know that that's not a possibility.
Let me explain, if I can, I think what she means. Yes, your grandfather's dying. Yes, he's the most important person in your life. But she's at home and she's spotting, and she had to be able to say to you, I can't be there for you right now.
You have to discover together how to create appropriate, respectful boundaries with one another so that you can both be parents to this child and you both need help.
Okay, fine, but can I say something? My child is 6 weeks old. I am a new mother. I am learning. I'm doing the best I can.
Get some
and forgive
help.
me because I needed him one night.
And
one night I needed him.
You have a grandmother in your household that you're living with.
My grandmother's not raising my son.
And
he is
you
the father.
live with her, and you do not have access to him 24 hours a day. You guys need help.
Let me take a break and I'll come right back. I think it's pretty important that the women do not act bitter due to their circumstances, because bitter mothers don't make good children. But let me ask you an age-old question. I know couples that stayed together for the sake of the children. They had nothing in common. Their kids grew up and said, boy, I wish my parents had divorced. I knew parents who divorced, and the kids say, boy, I wish my parents had stayed together for the sake of the children. What do the studies show? Which is best?
I think it's individual. I don't think you can generalize like that, Sally. It's based on each individual couple. But with these young couples, they're young enough that they could develop things in common. I have a question for Joe. Do you still love Rachel, Joe?
Yes, I do.
I mean, what I would say with Joe and Rachel is that if they're willing to have some help, that the two of them, what's occurred between them is their brother butt into the middle and is a busybody, creating problems in the relationship. And if Rachel's still willing to work on this, they may have a possibility if Joe and her want to try to communicate.
Does our third couple have a possibility? I think they have a possibility.
I think if he wants to take a stand for being her husband and showing up as the father of this child, that there might be a possibility for her to be able to forgive him.
Does it not bother you that he hasn't been around in a year?
I think it's pretty fishy.
I also offered to drop my whole life and move to where he was living and stationed so he could see Darian whenever he wanted to. He says, no, if I can't have you, I don't want him either.
But you know, he's sitting here right now, Sally, with a lot of feelings about things. And I think that it's really difficult often for men, particularly if they haven't had parenting and fathering.
He told our producer, Scott, I'm going to betray you. You're going to be betrayed by a talk show host. You're in the military. You can stand it. He told, I speak real straight, he told our producer he loves her so much that he would marry her. So there you go. Take a break. I asked Carrie if she'd consider his proposal. She gave me a definite no. I think we'll leave you with the idea that if a woman has a baby, she really better be prepared to take care of that baby for the rest of the baby's life. Thank you for being with us.